any questions, we'll capture those as we're going through the presentation, or we can pick up those at the end. So of course there'll be some technical issues. There we go, we're on to the next screen. So what's on the agenda today? I'm going to give a quick introduction to Scottish Procurement Alliance, SPA for short. So I'll give a quick introduction, just who we are, what we offer and how we support our partners. Then I'll touch on our relationship with the Supplier Development Programme, how we work together not only on this framework but in supporting the public sector in general. Heather's then going to talk us through the Asset Services and Compliance Framework, which is what you're all here for. We'll go over the kind of key dates for that and also the timeline for the evaluation, etc. I have wrote here we will discuss an additional opportunity for the whole house DPS. There is, in fact, no slides for that. I can add them into the presentation with key links for it, and I'll just touch on that before we finish up at the end, in case anyone's interested in that ongoing opportunity. And we'll also have our Q&A at the end. So as I said, any questions, either pop them in the chat or we will touch on those at the end. So in terms of an introduction to SPA, SPA are Scotland's largest free-to-join, not-for-profit procurement solutions provider. Bit of a mouthful. We provide procurement solutions for construction, refurbishment, maintenance of social housing, public buildings all throughout Scotland. We currently represent 114 public sector organisations, from small cooperatives to regional and national RSLs, your housing associations, local authorities, education providers, blue light services, everything that was really captured within the public sector. We were formed in 2016, and that was following consultation with a large range of stakeholders. And what the purpose of that was really to address Scotland's needs, standards, aspirations when it comes to public sector procurement. We are underpinned by over 55 years of technical procurement experience, and that is through our parent company LHC, who are one of the UK's most respected public sector procurement organisations as such. So we work all as a group, and that's kind of split up within different regions throughout the country. So we have a vast portfolio of compliant framework solutions and also a dynamic purchasing system, DPS for short, and those have all been developed through extensive research and collaboration with not only partners but also suppliers in the marketplace, and we do this via our pre-tender engagement process, which hopefully some of you all have been involved in, maybe not particularly for this framework but throughout the frameworks that we offer. And each company appointed to our framework have undergone rigorous processes to be awarded a place on that, as again some of you already know. So the frameworks enable fully or partially publicly funded organisations to procure goods, works and services, and they provide a complete collection of solutions for organisations seeking to procure construction, refurb or maintenance projects. Along with that, we also offer a range of services that are tailored to our requirements of our public sector partners. We basically go above and beyond just providing framework solutions. We are here to provide our partners and suppliers from professional guidance, support, training that's bespoke to their requirements, and that's not only within procurement, but we've got our technical support team, our client support managers, and also our social advisory services, which is via Lintel Trust. So we work very closely with Lintel Trust, who are a Scottish charity with a 44, probably more than that, year heritage supporting Scotland's housing communities, and they really act as a trusted voice to inspire change. So this pivotal relationship places us, SPA, on a strong footing to discover innovative routes for each project, how we can include community benefits and essentially deliver better outcomes for the communities that these housing associations or local authorities serve. So we are currently guided by our executive board, which comprises of members from a mix of backgrounds. We've got members from housing associations, local authorities, and also housing cooperatives all throughout Scotland. And as I mentioned there before, each project procured through us, through our frameworks, helps to generate individual community benefit projects, and that contributes to the Community Benefit Fund. So I'll move on here, and I've just popped in here lovely photos of all of our team there. So we are quite a small team. Well, I've moved us on 5 slides too many. We're quite a small team, but there's definitely pros to that. I think we all put our nose into a project at some stage and its cycle. So that's us all there. All our details are on our website as well. So if you're looking to get in touch with anyone in particular, you can get their details on our website. Let me not move on 5 slides. Perfect. So in terms of our partnership with the Supplier Development Programme, we work in partnership with Supplier Development Programme to basically support the development of small businesses, SMEs, and our local Scottish communities. We're similar, like-minded organisation in the sense that we are both not-for-profit. We are working to promote sustainable procurement duty that's in line with Scottish Government's never-ending list of requirements, and we really want to make sure that we are helping to open up procurement opportunities, not just for your market leaders, your incumbent suppliers. We want to capture everyone within the market and ensure everyone's got that fair opportunity to participate in them. And our procurement solutions and our DPS really are developed with that in mind. We want to make sure that they are awarded split down onto appropriate lotting structures, whether it's regional, whether it's by value bands, or just in general project sizes, so that there's a chunk in there that's for everyone. Some organisations only want to work in the millions or billions of pounds, and then there's others that are quite happy to take on kind of smaller projects. Touched on this before, but we both encourage SMEs and also larger companies, don't exclude anyone, and get involved with public sector procurement. We both provide support through training like this session today, and also development and upskilling opportunities. We advise, or we advertise all of the opportunities we have available in the market, and then just again like this session today, we do further promotion of those through the Supplier Development Programme. We exhibit at all the Meet the Buyer events. I'm pretty sure you've probably seen either me and Heather or one of the rest of the team over the past few years at those events. I'm sure we've met some of you as well. Not that I know who's on this session. And just following on for that, we like to exhibit and present at bespoke Meet the Buyer events. We've done some of these particularly for smaller regions within Scotland, and then also kind of wider areas. And the purpose of that really is to encourage the local supply chain within those particular, within those regions. So we work with SDP to support Scottish Government's agenda, as I said, and ensure that we can promote all of our opportunities and ensure that we are offering the right contractor for the right size and right location for our partners. So I will pass you over. I've went on long enough there. I'll pass you over to Heather, who is going to talk us through the framework that you're all here to hear about.
Hello. So in terms of the framework that we're here to talk about today is our Asset Services and Compliance Framework. Now that offers a full suite of asset safety and compliance support to help the public sector meet government guidelines surrounding building life safety and maintenance within both domestic and non-domestic premises. Now, our framework offering will cover all 5 of LHC's group business units, which includes SPA, South West Procurement Alliance, Welsh Procurement Alliance, and obviously LHC areas. Now, we do try and keep all our framework solutions as flexible as possible, so you can apply for only the areas, the regions within Scotland that you are looking to work within, or you can branch out into wider areas if you do have that kind of business support there as well. As always, as I mentioned there, with trying to provide our flexible framework solutions, we also break our frameworks down into various different work streams. So when you're looking at what we're going to cover under this framework, you don't have to be able to apply for every single work stream. You can select and pick and choose what ones you're looking to do. Now under this we're going to cover 5 different work streams, which covers various different compliance needs throughout the public sector and our kind of partners areas as well, which have been highlighted through our pre-tender engagement sessions that we held with both our partners and various contractors throughout Scotland. So we're going to cover off our asbestos services, which will include consultancy, surveying works, analytical and removal works. We're also going to cover off our property protection associated services, and that will include areas such as cleaning and clearance, mould treatment, management, pest control, as well as your property protection element of that as well. Now that was previously within a standalone framework and it covered void properties only, but this has now been opened up to have our vacant and occupied properties within it, because obviously we've identified a need through our pre-tender engagement to cover occupied buildings as well. We've also got our water testing, treatment and management work stream, and that will cover items such as testing, consultancy, water system maintenance, remedials and any associated services with that. And then we've got our heating, ventilation and air conditioning work stream as well, which will cover all servicing, compliance, maintenance requirements that we might have, down to an inspection, servicing and remedial works. And then we've got our electrical testing and associated services, which will include items such as like your EICRs and remedials, kind of lighting upgrades, part testing, and other electrical services such as like your EV chargings, etc. Now, within that, we have included the kind of core services that's within those work streams. However, there is that flexibility to cover associated services throughout them as well. So that's not kind of the only things that we'll cover, which we've discussed today. There will be more information in the ITT documents, and everything, areas that you can cover there, and it'll give you the specification, etc. In terms of the timelines that we're looking at, our tender was published yesterday, so that is now live for any about submissions. Sorry, my work are going to mix up here. This is the procurement side that I'm still getting to grips with and all the terminology. But our ITT documents were issued yesterday. Now that's open until the 15th of March, and that's the tender deadline where submissions will close during that time. In between then, we will be holding a tender briefing session on the 8th of February internally within LHC and SPA, because that will give you a chance to have a look at the documents and then come and ask any questions that you may have on them, or get anything clarified. We will have, obviously, within the ITT documents, we'll have our original kind of clarifications and tender queries, and that will be open up until the 8th of March. Following the kind of tender deadline of the 15th of March, we'll then undertake the evaluation period, which we expect to go from the 16th of March until the 11th of July. Danielle is laughing because obviously we always expect the evaluations to go through a certain period, but it can be quicker, it can be slightly longer, depending on the extent of the submissions, etc., and the content within them. So these are proposed dates. We like to stick to them as much as possible, but in the world of procurement, that is subject to move slightly. Following the evaluation period, we will then look at doing an anticipated award. Once we've issued all the kind of award decision letters, we then go into a 10-day standstill period and undertake any award debriefs. So any contractors that have applied for it, if they've been awarded or if they've not been awarded a position on it, it gives us a chance to go over that evaluation if you need it, talk through why the scoring was like that, answer any questions that you may have on it. And then following that, we will be expecting to issue the contract award notice on the 26th of July with a framework go live date of the 28th of July. So over the next few months, as you can imagine, it's going to be absolutely hectic in here, along with every other framework solution that we're working on, as well as our live projects. But we're looking forward to getting this framework kind of up off the ground and live and charging on ahead with it as well.
This framework really captures a lot of
Yeah,
the ones that were previously separated but
Yeah.
were really popular and expired. So I
Yeah.
think this will be fantastic.
yeah, but being able to expand on those existing services as well to really increase that kind of offering that we can provide to our partners. So following the kind of go live date, we will be holding launch events that happen both nationally and regionally. And we always do these regionally as well because we operate slightly different than other regions to be able to provide the services that our Scottish partners and contractors require. So any successful contractors will be notified of these dates and invited along. They always change the kind of we always change the format and the layout of them depending on what the framework's for, and try and kind of make those as interactive as possible throughout that time as well.
Not me.
And that is me for my section.
Just kind of really to follow on from those points Heather said there, I wanted to, obviously the ITT is now live, so what I've done on this presentation is included a link to the PCS contract notice. A lot of key information is on there for it. That will also point you to our tendering portal, Proactus. I'm sure it's just one of many tendering portals that suppliers have to register for. It's not even Proactus anymore, it's Intent. There we go. I'm getting messed up in my own words. So yeah, we previously used Proactus, but we're now using Intend. Thankfully, I've got a thing to go through with you here, and I'll make sure you're on the right place to apply for it. So I've got the link to the PCS contract notice and also the link to the direct advert on the e-tendering portal.
But we'll also update it following that our ITT being published yesterday for when the slides get issued to you as well.
It's done.
Oh, has it done?
One step ahead here. Yeah, so what you'll also see in this presentation is this little icon. It doesn't really scream click me, but you can click it. And what I can do is also the attachment that should pop open with it. I'll send that separate so that can be issued just in case there's any issues with you opening it up following this session. So here we go. We'll see what happens here if it comes up or not. It's a pretty basic document. There we go. Something has worked. It's a pretty basic document. It's just a PDF, and what I have done is essentially pulled together a step-by-step on how to register for Intend. As I said, some of you that have been on our previous frameworks before will probably use Proactus. All of these e-tendering systems are somewhat the same. Of course, public sector just couldn't make it easy for suppliers, and we all need to use our own. But as I said, I've made this step by step with links on it as well, so you can go straight to the site on Intend. If you already have an account, just sign in with your email address and password. There's also a forgot password button. If you've forgot that, you can just get yourself a new one. If we didn't have when it autofills your password for you, if I didn't have that, I wouldn't be able to get into anything, even on my phone. So yeah, I've put in here, just sign in. If you've already got an account, you can essentially just jump to step 15 in this document and it will show you where this specific framework is and how to apply for that. But I wanted to just put a step-by-step in here for if it's your first time applying on Intend. So I won't go through this in detail, you'll get a copy of this anyway, but very self-explanatory. If you don't have an account, click register. Complete your details about the company. There's different tabs along the website, and again this breaks down on here. It's got each bit that needs to be completed, anything with a red star, as you know. So all of this, it just shows you what you need to do, where you need to click. Once you've completed all of that, you go on to the next tab, and the same again as you move through the registration process. And then again, what we've got here is in terms of company categories, so all of those that are applicable to yourself. One thing I do want to touch back on in detail is the business classifications tab. What this slightly mirrors is the PCS, where you put in your CPV codes, and that is essentially how you get notified of opportunities that are relevant to what your business can provide. So it's technically the same on here. What we want suppliers to do is select codes that are relevant to the goods, works or services that you can provide, and then going forward, albeit you may only be interested in right now applying for this one, but that'll allow us to keep your information on detail, and when we potentially publish something that is within that remit of the codes, you'll also get a notification about it. So just make sure you're quite specific when it comes down to that. And then I'll just, as I said, complete all the categories and then click register. Pretty straightforward. If you do have any issues, just let us know. IT is not our friend in anybody's. And I nearly had you register on a different system. So, and then step 15, once you've registered, return back to the home page and log in, or just click that link there and it'll take you directly to the ASC1 landing page.
When you do register for intent, obviously when you note down your business classification, it's not going to only give you access to this framework, it will give you updates on upcoming frameworks, any pre-tender engagement that we're planning and holding in relation to those frameworks, any tender briefings, any launch dates, etc. So we just found that this system allowed us to be able to notify you guys of more through a direct channel rather than having to go a bit here, there and everywhere to find it. So you should be able to kind of access everything and still scroll through and express your interest on any upcoming ones that aren't related to this but might suit your business requirements as well.
At least to get on the framework anyway, when it comes down to call-offs. I dread to see the amount of different systems all our partners use. In an ideal world, they would all use PCS, Quick Quote Portal for mini competitions, but let me try and change the world one day at a time. So yeah, I've just put in a couple of screenshots here about the landing page for ASC1. That will contain roughly the same information that you'll see on the PCS notice. It's got that breakdown of the work streams, how the regions are split out. And if you're interested in applying, click express interest. It will then allow you to register your interest and you can provide any details that it requires. So pretty straightforward, and you'll get a copy of this makeshift step-by-step document. But as I said, if you've got any questions, just come back and let us know. What I just want to touch on quickly before we move on to the question and answer section is the additional opportunity that we've also got, which is our dynamic purchasing system. Again, I've just not put, don't ask me why, I've just not put the slides in on here, but what I will also do is send that out with information you're going to get following this. But we have a dynamic purchasing system that is open for new applicants. It is, in comparison to a framework, it's open for 4 years. People can apply throughout the duration of it, and I'm happy to speak to you all if you're interested in that. After this session, we can arrange a meeting and we'll go through it all. Heather has just prompted me to mention. Do you want to just mention it?
Over the next couple of months, obviously, as soon as we've got one framework, we're kind of on to the next iteration of the next, and it takes quite a bit of planning before those ITT documents are ready to come out to you guys. Obviously, throughout this time, we're looking for your kind of opinion and your input and how that's going to form, because at the end of the day, it's got to fit what our partners require, but also how our contractors will work with it. We've got an existing whole house refurbishment framework, which is coming up for renewal next year, and we are starting the pre-tender engagement for that between the 10th of February to about the 10th of March. We are expanding on that slightly to include non-domestic premises in there as well. So if anybody's interested in coming along to those sessions, just drop me a message and I'll get the dates to you. We will be holding, the plan is to hold various ones, a central pre-tender engagement session in our office, and then kind of go to more rural areas throughout Scotland to be able to connect with those suppliers within the region. And following that, a couple of months later, we've got the next iteration of our energy efficiency framework and consultancy. So if that's something you're interested in, just follow the same steps, get in touch with me. I can take your contact details and I can get in touch with you when we've got the kind of plans in place and notify you of that.
Just I've just seen a couple of the chat questions coming through there. All of our contact details are on the contact us page of the SPA website. However, the email you've got here, info@scottishprocurement.scot, if you change info to anybody's first name, so Daniela at scottishprocurement.scot, Heather at scottishprocurement.scot, that's our email addresses. So off the top of your head, it shouldn't be too difficult. But if not, they're all online. And as Heather said, regardless of what it is you're interested in, pop one of us an email. If it isn't particularly us that deal with a certain area, we'll pass it on. And in regards to the DPS, happy to have, as I said, those individual, kind of a quick 30 minutes Teams call, and I'll run through everything in detail for that. And Heather's really your go-to for upcoming frameworks as such, and providing a wee bit more info on that. But we all really just dip our toe in everybody's job here. It's not, no day's the same.
It all links to an extent, so
Yeah.
it all kind of mixes at one point.
Well, we keep each other right, because I didn't even know what asbestos was when I started here. And I can just bring procurement knowledge, but you can teach me everything I need to know about that. But yeah, we're going off on a tangent now. I'll stop sharing my screen so I can actually see the question box.
Yep.
And